All right, chapter 2, why tracking matters. So if you've ever felt stuck trying to lose fat or build muscle, if you've ever wanted to change your body, the starting point is generally awareness. So without it, even small wins are hard to repeat, and every plateau you have feels like confusion or guesswork. Obstacles are more likely to have you pursuing the wrong solutions, or worse, cause you to give up completely. Anyone can lose a pound by chance or hit the gym once, but long-term progress requires more than just random effort. That is where tracking your own personal information comes in. Tracking grounds you in reality, especially your own reality, and it keeps your emotions at bay, which is very important from steering your choices when motivation fades and things inevitably get hard and or boring or both at the same time. It gives you the ability to test things, adjust, and repeat what actually works for you, and not just some gimmicky diet that worked for somebody who has superior genetics to you. So it allows you to navigate the real world on what actually works for you and not what works for some Instagram personality. And not just what works for me. What works for me may not work for you. So there's general principles that will work for most people in most cases, and that's what I'll teach you. But you need to track your own stuff so you can make adjustments over time and not be a toddler hanging on to somebody else's thumb, having them lead you around. It also protects you from confusion and false promises, like I just talked about. Most fad diets and gimmicks depend on people not measuring anything real. Because when you know your own data and stop chasing the bad genetics excuses or hopping from trend to trend, you can actually see what works for you. So, thinking in systems. Think of yourself as a system. An athlete, a machine, or even a business, they're all kind of the same thing if you think about it. Every system has levers that can be measured or managed. So businesses track profit and loss, millions of other things, but businesses track profit and loss specifically because it keeps them alive. Athletes track scores, times, sleep times, training stuff, PRs in the gym, etc. And your health is not really any different. What you measure is what you will manage. So for body composition and performance, 4 levers, more or less, matter most, and lots of other things kind of fall inside of these levers. But you have nutrition, which controls your energy balance, calories in versus calories out, how you feel each day, all that kind of stuff. Training will drive adaptations, how much muscle you gain or lose, extra calories burned, also just how your joints feel, all that kind of good stuff. Sleep will set the stage for recovery. Sleep is unbelievably important for recovery, fat loss, energy, focus, clarity, all that kind of stuff. And then your body weight is more of the feedback you get from manipulating these variables. So not exactly a lever, but it's important, but it is an important metric nonetheless because it reveals the outcomes and trends over time. And it's what you guys are targeting most of the time. You guys are wanting to lose weight or gain weight or whatever it is. Most of you are wanting to lose weight, so it's an important thing to track. Am I actually losing weight? Tells you some good stuff. Calories are the most direct lever you can pull as it pertains to changing your body weight, but they're not the only one. Sleep and daily activity also play critical roles, as we will discuss in detail later. So if you push one lever too far while ignoring the others, progress can stall or burnout sets in. Tracking across multiple levers gives you flexibility. So when one variable has less room to move, your calories are already at rock bottom, which hopefully you don't get there, but your calories are already super low, and you don't want to just keep eating nothing all the time. You can focus more on sleep or training or whatever that thing may be. You can modulate through different phases. So you have to learn how to pull other levers. So you're not just cranking on one and snap the lever off and then you go crazy or starve to death or whatever it is. So tracking across multiple levers gives you flexibility. So when one lever has less room to move, another can pick up the slack. Here's the goal of tracking. You don't need to track everything forever. The goal is to establish a baseline, understand how each lever interacts with one another, and build habits that run in the background, kind of on autopilot, once the skill is ingrained, so you can ease off while keeping the structure that you have in place. So the tracking you do initially probably won't be or feel nearly as hard as the tracking you need to do long term. And you may track a lot in the beginning, and then when you're in your maintenance phase, you may find you don't need to track nearly as much. You track 1 or 2 key things. And then if you want to diet hard again, you just start tracking more. So you learn the skill that you can come back to, and it's something you learn. You get to keep it. It's all yours. You don't have to rely on me tracking for you, holding my metaphorical hand and having me guide you all the time. I'm happy to do that, but I want you to be a self-sufficient adult and know how to do these things for yourself. So in this module, we'll break down each lever, starting with calories so you can track them in the simplest, most effective way. And by the end, you'll see how awareness, and by awareness, I mean becoming aware of the things that already occur. So you already eat calories. You already burn calories. You already sleep every night, hopefully. So it's more of just becoming aware. It's more illuminating what's actually going on so you can control it. It's not forcing you to become some crazy person that tracks things that's just weird. You were already doing this stuff. I'll make this analogy in the next chapter because I already wrote it, but it's just like budgeting. You're not crazy for making a budget and caring how much money you spend every month. The money goes in and out whether you track it or not. Budgeting is just a healthy thing for you to become aware of how you're spending your money. And that's what I mean by awareness. How am I spending my calories? How many calories am I consuming? Yada, yada. So by the end, you'll see how awareness creates freedom and why tracking may be the unlock that you've been missing. So I'll catch you in the next chapter, which is chapter 3, part 1, tracking calories.